Welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we're diving straight into something fascinating and honestly, pretty urgent. We are unpacking the massive crisis of digital trust hitting us in mid-2026. Whether we're looking at the multi-billion-dollar gaming industry or the genuinely terrifying realities of global cybersecurity, the digital systems we rely on every single day are facing some very serious identity and security crises.
Okay, let's dive into this. Here's what we're looking at today. First up, Xbox's exclusivity identity crisis, followed right away by the case-by-case confusion. Then, we'll examine how generative AI enters the game. After that, we are taking a sharp turn into national security with the FBI surveillance breach and wrapping it all up with 2026, the year of hacks. Let's get to it. Section 1. Xbox's exclusivity identity crisis, reclaiming the console. So picture this, the June 2026 Xbox Games Showcase delivers a genuine shock to the entire industry. Just as everyone, and I mean everyone, thought Xbox was going fully multi-platform, newly appointed CEO Asha Sharma pivots hard. Just look at their flagship announcement, Gears of War E-Day. It's launching on October 6, 2026, built by the Coalition on Unreal Engine 5. But the absolute most crucial detail here, the platform. It is a permanent Xbox and PC exclusive. Xbox is using this absolute heavyweight, blockbuster title to give gamers an undeniable reason to actually go out and invest in physical Xbox hardware again. And Xbox CEO Asha Sharma? She did not mince words about this. Her quote says it all. "We want to give people a reason to buy an Xbox. Gears of War, E-Day, and Clockwork Revolution will be Xbox console exclusives, not timed, but permanent." Sharma is laying down the gauntlet. Her goal is to make Xbox the absolute #1 gaming company by 2030, and strict, uncompromising exclusivity is the foundation of that plan. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the immediate messaging breakdown we saw. Shortly after Sharma made her definitive statement, Xbox Chief Content Officer Matt Booty said this in an interview. "For single-player narrative games, we'll evaluate each title case by case. So you literally have one top executive promising permanent exclusivity to build the brand's identity, while another executive immediately dials it back." Section 2. The case-by-case confusion, a strategy puzzle. You can see how this conflicting messaging leaves gamers and developers completely uncertain, right? I mean, why spend hundreds of dollars on an Xbox console if those games might just end up on your PlayStation a year later? The business stakes here are incredibly high. On one hand, exclusivity creates a massive system seller and boosts Game Pass value. But on the flip side, it costs you millions in potential PlayStation 5 sales and artificially limits your game's total player base. The upcoming 2027 steampunk RPG, Clockwork Revolution, is really positioned as the ultimate test case for this high-risk strategy. If it succeeds, well, it validates the Xbox hardware. If it underperforms, this exact confusion will likely be the thing to blame. Section 3. Generative AI enters the game. Sega's transparency. Now, during that exact same June showcase, Sega disclosed their use of generative AI in the upcoming game Crazy Taxi World Tour, and wow, did that spark an intense industry debate. But to really understand the public outrage, we need to look at the practical application here. Sega is using AI strictly as a support tool for background assets. We're talking distant buildings, generic street signs, that kind of stuff. There is absolutely zero AI being used for performers, voice actors, or main characters. Sega was actually just being highly transparent to comply with Steam's rules, which honestly contrast wildly with the intense internet reaction they received. But the crucial point here is what this represents for the future of the industry. Studios clearly want to use AI because it saves massive amounts of time, cuts costs, and eliminates those really boring, repetitive tasks. But artists, they have completely valid existential concerns about job loss and the ethics of how these AI models are trained on human art in the first place. So the big question the industry is wrestling with right now is this. Is AI just a super efficient background tool, or is it a slippery slope toward human replacement? Okay, dropping the tone a bit, Section 4, the FBI surveillance breach, a national security disaster. If you thought trusting entertainment corporations was tricky, our trust in national security took a much, much darker hit. In March 2026, the FBI announced that its internal surveillance network, the DCSN, had been severely compromised, and the exposed data is staggering. It includes pen register returns, trap and trace surveillance, FISA warrant data, and personally identifiable information. This doesn't just embarrass the FBI, it completely undermines U.S. counterintelligence. It literally shows attackers exactly who the FBI is actively watching. Let's move to and see how this builds, because the timeline here is terrifying. The prime suspect is a Chinese state-sponsored group known as Salt Typhoon.
Initial penetration happened way back in November 2025. They then successfully exfiltrated data all the way through February. The FBI didn't even detect the activity until March 2026, which led to the public disclosure in June. Think about that. That is a massive 4-month window where foreign operatives had unrestricted access to highly classified data, giving them plenty of time to adapt to or evade U.S. law enforcement. Section 5, 2026, the year of hacks.
Now, this FBI breach, it absolutely does not exist in a vacuum. A comprehensive June report from TechCrunch made it very clear that the global cybersecurity landscape is, quite frankly, collapsing. Look at that number, over 50 million. That is the number of records leaked in the month of April alone. I want to induce a little bit of data shock here, because society is hemorrhaging data at a rate that is genuinely difficult to even comprehend.
And it's not just the sheer volume, it's the specific targets. Conduit ransomware hit over 25 million victims, compromising Social Security and medical records. Then we have the highly classified FBI breach. NYC Health saw 1.8 million patients compromised, and GitHub lost 3,800 internal repositories. Modern hackers are no longer just out there stealing credit cards. They are systematically dismantling critical, foundational societal infrastructure. And wait, to make matters worse, the public data we just looked at might only represent a tiny fraction of the actual crisis. That same TechCrunch report detailed some deeply disturbing allegations from an IBM whistleblower. This former cybersecurity executive actually accused the tech giant of covering up 3 separate major data breaches orchestrated by foreign governments over the past decade. If major, highly trusted corporations are sweeping these incidents under the rug to protect their reputations, the true scale of our global digital vulnerability is practically unknown. So what exactly is making 2026 such a bad year? There are really 3 main drivers. First, advanced nation-state hackers simply have better, far more persistent tools now. Second, the primary targets have shifted directly to critical infrastructure, the very systems we need to just function as a society. And third, ransomware gangs have professionalized. I mean, these criminal groups now operate exactly like legitimate, well-funded corporations. They have public relations teams, negotiation departments, and even customer support. It's wild. Which leaves us here. Whether it's questioning a massive entertainment company's multi-million-dollar exclusivity strategy, relying on developers to use AI ethically, or trusting our own government to actually secure top-secret intelligence, our reliance on digital systems has literally never been higher. Yet our trust in them? It's completely fractured. So I'll leave you with this thought. As our world becomes entirely, permanently interconnected, can we truly secure our digital future? Or is this state of constant, devastating cyber warfare simply the new normal? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep questioning, keep learning, and I'll catch you next time.